The Forgotten Guardians. Top 3 essential minerals every diabetic must know about and how they can support healthy blood sugar. From the moment someone is diagnosed with diabetes, the conversation almost always starts and ends with sugar. Doctors, nurses, and nutritionists warn about refined carbs, the glycemic index, insulin spikes, and the dangers of sugar-laden treats. Yet in this laser focus on sugar alone, another critical dimension of diabetes management is often tragically overlooked: the power of essential minerals. These quiet guardians of health don't make headlines like carbs or insulin do, but research continues to confirm that certain minerals can play a profound role in helping the body maintain better blood glucose control. For millions struggling with prediabetes, type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes, this missing piece of the puzzle can mean the difference between constant roller coaster blood sugar and more stable, healthy readings. Among dozens of nutrients, 3 stand out as particularly critical: magnesium, chromium, and zinc. Each one influences the complex dance of insulin signaling, glucose uptake, and carbohydrate metabolism. Yet deficiencies in these minerals are shockingly common, even in industrialized nations. By understanding what these minerals do, how they interact with diabetes, and how best to replenish them, anyone with diabetes can add a powerful new layer of protection to their daily self-care. Magnesium, the unsung regulator of insulin sensitivity. Magnesium's story in human health begins deep within the Earth itself. As one of the most abundant minerals in the Earth's crust, magnesium has shaped the biochemistry of life since the dawn of time. In the human body, it's a cofactor in over 300 enzyme systems, meaning it helps activate critical reactions from energy production to DNA repair. Among these, some of magnesium's most important roles involve the regulation of insulin and glucose. Scientists have long observed that low magnesium levels are closely linked to insulin resistance, a condition in which the body's cells stop responding properly to insulin, forcing the pancreas to pump out more and more of the hormone to keep blood sugar in check. Over time, this chronic overproduction of insulin can burn out pancreatic beta cells, paving the way for type 2 diabetes. Magnesium helps by ensuring that insulin's message, essentially, "open the door for glucose," is heard loud and clear by muscle and fat cells. A study published in Diabetes Care found that people with the lowest magnesium intake had a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes over several years. Meanwhile, other research has shown that magnesium supplementation can reduce fasting blood sugar and improve HbA1c, a measure of long-term glucose control. The relationship runs both ways. Diabetes can cause magnesium depletion through increased urinary excretion, and magnesium deficiency can worsen blood sugar control, creating a vicious cycle that only proper magnesium intake can break. Beyond insulin sensitivity, magnesium supports cardiovascular health, nerve function, and blood pressure regulation, all areas of special concern for diabetics. It also plays a key role in reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 hallmarks of diabetic complications such as neuropathy, kidney damage, and retinopathy. Unfortunately, magnesium deficiency is widespread. Diets high in processed foods, low vegetable intake, gastrointestinal disorders, and certain medications can all deplete magnesium stores. The best dietary sources of magnesium include dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, and whole grains. Yet for many people, particularly those already diagnosed with diabetes, supplementation may be necessary to restore optimal levels. Magnesium citrate, glycinate, and chloride are among the most bioavailable forms. Individuals should work with their healthcare provider to tailor dosage and monitor kidney function, especially since advanced kidney disease can affect magnesium handling. Chromium, the spark plug of insulin's engine. Chromium is a trace mineral, meaning the body only needs tiny amounts, but its role is nothing short of mighty when it comes to glucose metabolism. Discovered as an essential nutrient in the 1950s, chromium's claim to fame lies in its ability to enhance the action of insulin. It does this by helping form a special compound called chromodulin, which binds to insulin receptors and boosts their sensitivity to insulin's signal. Without sufficient chromium, these receptors can become sluggish, forcing the pancreas to work harder and potentially accelerating the decline into insulin resistance. Numerous studies have examined the relationship between chromium and diabetes. A landmark study in diabetes reported that chromium supplementation significantly reduced fasting blood glucose and HbA1c levels in people with type 2 diabetes, especially those who started with poor glucose control. Some trials even found reductions in cholesterol and triglycerides, added bonuses for those worried about the cardiovascular risks of diabetes. Deficiency in chromium is surprisingly common, in part because it can be depleted by high sugar intake, a cruel irony given that people consuming more sugar are precisely those who most need chromium's help. Age, pregnancy, strenuous exercise, and stress can also lower chromium levels. Unfortunately, modern farming practices and food processing strip chromium from many grains and vegetables, making it difficult to get enough through diet alone. The best food sources include whole grains, broccoli, green beans, and potatoes, but levels in foods can vary greatly depending on soil quality. Supplemental chromium picolinate is one of the most studied and widely used forms for supporting glucose metabolism. However, like any supplement, it should only be taken under professional guidance, as excessive chromium intake, though rare, can cause kidney or liver issues. Zinc, the mastermind. Behind insulin production and secretion, zinc is best known as the mineral that helps fight colds, but its significance goes far deeper, especially for people managing diabetes. This mineral plays a direct role in the synthesis, storage, and secretion of insulin in the pancreatic beta cells. Essentially, without zinc, the pancreas cannot produce or release insulin effectively. In fact, insulin itself is stored in the pancreas in a crystalline form, stabilized by zinc molecules. A deficiency in zinc disrupts this delicate process, potentially reducing insulin output just when the body needs it most. Zinc also supports antioxidant defenses, helping to neutralize harmful free radicals generated by high blood sugar levels, a major driver of diabetic complications. Research in journals like Metabolism has shown that zinc supplementation can improve glycemic control, enhance insulin sensitivity, and even reduce the risk of some diabetes-related complications. Zinc deficiency is alarmingly common among people with diabetes, partly because chronic high blood sugar leads to greater urinary loss of this mineral. Moreover, a diet heavy in processed foods or low in animal protein can contribute to inadequate intake. The richest dietary sources of zinc are oysters, red meat, poultry, beans, nuts, and dairy products. Because excessive zinc supplementation can interfere with copper absorption and immune function, it's crucial for anyone considering zinc supplements to do so with professional supervision. Optimal daily intake varies, but most adults need around 8 to 11 milligrams of zinc per day from all sources, with higher amounts sometimes recommended for those with diabetes under medical guidance. Of course, I'll continue the essay seamlessly, maintaining the same immersive, detailed style without any bullet points, summaries, or interruptions. Magnesium's profound importance extends beyond its immediate role in insulin signaling. When magnesium levels drop, the resulting cascade affects nearly every system in the body. For the cardiovascular system, a primary concern for anyone with diabetes, Low magnesium contributes to the stiffening of arteries, abnormal heart rhythms, and elevated blood pressure. This trifecta of complications increases the likelihood of heart attacks and strokes, both of which are leading causes of death among diabetics. Studies have even linked magnesium deficiency to sudden cardiac death in people with diabetes, underscoring how something as seemingly simple as a mineral can become a silent killer when overlooked. Neurological health also depends on adequate magnesium. People with diabetes frequently experience neuropathy, nerve damage that can cause burning, tingling, or numbness in the hands and feet. Oxidative stress and microvascular damage play major roles in this process, but so does magnesium deficiency. Low magnesium has been shown to heighten pain perception, interfere with nerve conduction, and exacerbate inflammation around nerves. Restoring magnesium levels can support nerve health and, in some cases, modestly ease the severity of neuropathic symptoms. Magnesium's reach into carbohydrate metabolism is equally critical. This mineral helps regulate the activity of key enzymes like hexokinase, which initiates glucose utilization in cells, and pyruvate dehydrogenase, which drives glucose into the energy-producing pathways of mitochondria. Without enough magnesium, these enzymes work less efficiently, leaving glucose stranded in the bloodstream rather than being burned for fuel. The result is higher blood sugar and a chronic energy deficit that can leave people with diabetes feeling fatigued, sluggish, and mentally foggy. Meanwhile, chromium's unique role as the spark plug of insulin's effectiveness continues to captivate researchers searching for new ways to support glucose control. Early animal studies demonstrated that chromium deprivation led to diabetes-like symptoms in rats, including high blood sugar and impaired insulin function. When chromium was restored, normal glucose metabolism returned. This pivotal research fueled human trials, many of which found meaningful improvements in blood sugar metrics, especially in patients with poor baseline control. The mechanism behind chromium's power lies in its ability to enhance the insulin signaling cascade at the cellular level. Insulin binds to its receptor on cell membranes, triggering a sequence of phosphorylation events, a series of chemical activations inside the cell. Chromium helps amplify these events, ensuring the signal remains strong enough to push glucose transporters like GLUT4 to the cell surface so they can ferry glucose inside. Without chromium, the signal weakens, fewer glucose transporters appear, and blood sugar stays elevated. One of the most striking findings about chromium is how quickly it can be depleted by diets high in refined carbohydrates. Eating excessive sugar causes large insulin spikes, and these spikes seem to accelerate chromium loss through urine. This creates a destructive loop where sugar consumption both drives up blood sugar and depletes one of the very minerals needed to tame it. Breaking this loop by lowering processed sugar intake while restoring chromium levels may offer a powerful two-pronged strategy for many diabetics. For decades, scientists debated how best to deliver chromium to those who need it most. While chromium picolinate remains the most widely studied form, newer compounds like chromium nicotinate and chromium yeast have emerged as alternatives with different absorption profiles. Each form has its proponents, and some argue that chromium derived from whole food sources, like brewer's yeast, may offer additional nutritional cofactors that aid absorption. Nonetheless, clinical evidence consistently shows that chromium can modestly improve fasting blood glucose and postprandial after-meal spikes in many patients, though it is rarely a magic bullet on its own. Turning to zinc, its influence in diabetes is even broader than many realize. Beyond its role in insulin production, zinc helps stabilize the structure of insulin crystals in pancreatic beta cells. Insulin isn't secreted as a loose, unorganized protein. It's carefully packed into storage granules as hexameric crystals held together by two zinc ions. Without these ions, insulin would not fold properly or remain stable in the pancreas, meaning its release would be erratic or insufficient. Zinc's contribution here is indispensable. It ensures insulin is both manufactured correctly and deployed efficiently when blood sugar rises. But zinc's benefits don't end with insulin. This mineral is a key player in antioxidant defense systems, particularly through its role in the enzyme superoxide dismutase, SOD. SOD neutralizes superoxide radicals, which are highly reactive molecules produced during hyperglycemia. Elevated blood sugar causes oxidative stress in nearly every organ, but the eyes, kidneys and peripheral nerves are especially vulnerable. Zinc-dependent SOD helps limit this damage, potentially slowing or even preventing the progression of complications like diabetic retinopathy, nephropathy and neuropathy. One little-known dimension of zinc's role in diabetes involves the immune system. Diabetics, especially those with poor glycemic control, face increased risk of infections, from minor skin wounds to serious urinary tract and respiratory infections. Zinc helps maintain both innate and adaptive immunity, supporting the function of T cells, natural killer cells, and other immune warriors. Adequate zinc intake can reduce infection severity and speed recovery, an underappreciated but vital benefit for anyone with diabetes. The landscape of zinc supplementation, however, is riddled with misconceptions. Many over-the-counter products offer excessive doses, often far beyond the recommended daily allowance. While short-term high-dose zinc can sometimes be therapeutic under medical supervision, chronic overconsumption can lead to copper deficiency, anemia, and immune dysfunction. These unintended consequences highlight the need for balance and personalized guidance when adding zinc supplements to a diabetes care plan. Magnesium, chromium, and zinc also interact with each other in subtle but important ways. Magnesium helps stabilize cell membranes and influences the transport of other minerals into and out of cells. Chromium, in turn, depends on magnesium-containing enzymes for its incorporation into chromodulin. Zinc and magnesium compete for absorption in the intestines, so taking excessive amounts of one can interfere with the other. This delicate mineral choreography underscores why holistic approaches to nutrition, focusing on balanced, whole food-based diets, are often more effective and sustainable than isolated megadoses of individual nutrients. For diabetics striving for better control, the best place to start is the plate. A diet centered around whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, lean proteins, and abundant vegetables provides a natural, synergistic source of these minerals, along with fiber and phytonutrients that further support metabolic health. Cooking methods matter too. Steaming or lightly sautéing vegetables preserves magnesium and zinc, while overboiling can leach these minerals into cooking water that's often discarded. Choosing minimally processed, organically grown foods may further improve mineral content, though budget and availability must always be considered. Lifestyle factors beyond diet can also influence mineral status. Chronic stress, sleep deprivation, and sedentary behavior have all been shown to disrupt mineral balance and worsen insulin sensitivity. Exercise, on the other hand, improves magnesium uptake by muscles and enhances the body's ability to use glucose effectively. Stress reduction techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and adequate sleep can help regulate cortisol levels, which in turn support more stable blood sugar and mineral metabolism. Despite decades of research, mainstream diabetes management often downplays the importance of these essential minerals. Much of conventional care remains laser-focused on medications, carbohydrate counting, and insulin adjustments, leaving nutrition, especially micronutrition, underemphasized. Yet mounting evidence suggests that optimizing magnesium, chromium, and zinc can be a powerful adjunct to medical therapies, sometimes even reducing the need for higher medication doses. For patients frustrated by persistent highs and lows in blood sugar despite medication, investigating mineral status could reveal an overlooked root cause. As the scientific community continues exploring the connections between trace minerals and glucose control, future therapies may harness these insights to create more comprehensive, individualized care plans. Imagine a world in which every newly diagnosed diabetic receives not only education about carbohydrates and insulin, but also a thorough assessment of mineral status, tailored dietary counseling, and, when needed, safe supplementation protocols. Such a paradigm shift could transform diabetes management from a reactive approach to a proactive, holistic strategy that addresses the underlying nutritional imbalances fueling metabolic dysfunction. Medical disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, medications, or supplements, especially if you have a medical condition such as diabetes. Individual needs can vary, and information presented here may not apply to every person's unique situation. No part of this content should be used as a substitute for personalized care from a licensed healthcare provider. Viewer discretion is advised.